My name is Felix Omwansa. I'm the co-founder and CTO of Geviton. We are an original design manufacturer, and essentially what we do is we design and manufacture solutions for energy, mobility, and the infrastructure in general. And these solutions take the form of electronic products, which you'll get to understand as we go on. The world as it is right now is changing, and one of the biggest changes is growth. We're seeing a lot of cities coming up, and these cities are getting larger, the populations are getting larger. It means we need better and larger healthcare facilities, we need larger utilities, we need better infrastructure in general. So, and in order to do that effectively, there is a very big demand for all these sectors to have data-driven solutions embedded in them. What this means essentially is that as we are working towards building smarter cities, smarter homes, better living standards, we have to adopt and embed technology in this infrastructure that we have in our society right now. And as much as it is a global problem, in Africa, I guess it's much more pronounced, considering we are an emerging market that is growing very rapidly. And so we do have that opportunity to build our society with technology from the ground up. And that's what we do as a company. We enable these communities, we enable businesses on the continent and the global stage to be able to have a better understanding of their operations, of their assets, of their resources using smart technology. First things first is the fact that we've been able to really localize what we do, in that, we are doing the design, the prototyping, the manufacturing, the scaling up, we're able to do it here. And that's particularly important for Africa because more often than not, as a continent, we rely a lot on imported technology. So this is, it's software, hardware, your mobile phone, your radio. We rely a lot on imported stuff. But as I said, or rather, as it is right now, there is shift towards that self-sufficiency that we need to have to be able to compete on the world stage, to be able to just keep up with the world in general. And the other uniqueness to it is that we are doing this in a continent where there is not much, appetite for technology, but a demand that is driven by needs, by a much more basic need. So what that really forces us and causes us to have is that we're building this technology with scale and adoption in mind. And what that enables the technology to be is that it has universal applications, because of course, at the end of the day, we are solving problems, that everyone in the world faces, be it access to clean transport, access to energy, and so on. So by doing it in Africa, it is really important that we're able to contextualize it for the continent, but by extension, we're able to build solutions that are able to be adopted in the world. So I'll show you a bit of some of these solutions that we do, these products that we do. Like I mentioned earlier, they take the form of electronic products, where, everyone would term them as motherboards, but in the technical sense, we call them the printed circuit boards. And what they are essentially is what we call embedded systems. So embedded systems are really just, in a simple sense, specialized computers, kind of moving away from what you use as a computer, your PC, your laptop, now moving towards very application-specific uses. So case in point, this is a tracker. So what does it do? It's able to collect the, its position in the, outside there, able to relay those coordinate data into a cloud application. So this is really what we are doing right here, or rather as Geviton, because we are able to really conceptualize what it takes for this product to be what it is, design everything, select the right components, and then import the raw components as they are so that we can be able to manufacture them here. On a personal level, I think a little over 10 years now, in terms of from when I started learning how to do this up to a point where, we're able to do this to create value for our customers. And it's been a journey of course, that continuous innovation because when we started, we in many ways we started it as purely out of our own passion to build things. I mean, having done my engineering degree, there's that that tenacity to want to build stuff, and fix problems. That's how it started. But quickly realized that there's a lot of challenges to getting this done here, particularly because one, none of this is done locally. Of course, we have to import everything that you're seeing here on this green piece. That every little chip connector and all that, we do have to import that. So that's always been a challenge, even up to now, because we do have, in many ways, dominant players in the world who are able to supply all these components at the most competitive and affordable cost. So number two is, I'd call it a bias. I don't know if it's an African bias or just everyone in general, that there is that lack, to a degree, that lack of faith in locally built solutions. I mean, at some point we have to stop singing about M-Pesa. I mean, it's it's one of the greatest success stories of the Kenyan and African tech ecosystem. But then again, how deeper do we need to go to be able to build our own technology? So those are some of the challenges that we faced at first, and it has taken time. But at this point, we're really happy to see that the scene has changed. We're getting to see more companies embrace smarter technologies, and that really just speaks to the kind of customers we serve. We do serve legacy, organizations, businesses that had operations from decades ago, simply because they're modernizing and they need to adopt smarter technology in their operations to deliver services to their customers and so on. And then most importantly, there is a new wave of new companies adopting smart technology as part of their product offering, as part of their value proposition. And they need a very robust ecosystem to be able to design, to manufacture, and scale up this solution. So more often than not, they of course outsource everything. It's the typical, just go to China, go to Germany, go to somewhere, you'll get it ready. But then that lack of context plays a big part in why, what problem we wanted to solve, and why we've been able to get to where we are right now. One of the biggest value propositions we give our customers is that we are able to localize your access to these advanced engineering services. So that's the original design manufacturing services. And as much as that has been a strong case for our success, over time we've matured our products as well, that we're able to sell to our customers directly. So all these special devices, controllers, some of which we're seeing in here, that we've gone out of our way to really understand what our customers need and be able to build it out for them to ease how fast they can adopt the technology. So it goes both ways. That yes, we develop custom IP for our customers, but we leverage our own experience, our own knowledge to create IP that adds value to them. The first thing was, it did come as a surprise because, truth be told, it's not very often that you get hardware-focused companies being incubated this way. So I think it's quite telling of, the whole ecosystem around the Startup 360 program on what they're looking at, to help African innovators, African companies come up with. So it did come as a surprise, but then a pleasant one at that, because we realized very quickly that as we are evolving as a company, to not just provide the hardware stuff, but also the software bit of it, where we did realize that there is, to a good degree, underutilization of solutions. Companies would invest in all this CRM software, subscriptions and so on, but to a degree they're not able to make sense of what they have. And we are moving to not just a hardware first, but also a data first and AI first company. So it happened quite at the right time, because suddenly we are part of this, I guess, deep discussions, deep technology discussions that are driving the future of what data, of what AI looks like in Africa. And we were really proud that as a solution provider who manufactures these, let me call them data generating solutions, that we were fit for the program. First things first is the global perspective, I'll be honest, we're obsessed with saying we're building for Africa. We are in Africa building for Africa, but over time we get to realize, we get to learn that we need to have that understanding that the quality, the standard, and the market that we're building for is a global market. So I believe that was a big part of why having the cohort, the Startup 360 cohort, take part in the London Tech Week to be able to participate in a global forum. I mean, it's true that in many ways Africa lags behind, in terms of technology adoption, in terms of talent, resources, and all these problems that we face. But we're presented with an opportunity to grow our societies, to grow our economies with a global state-of-the-art context, that we do not have to go through the industrial age. We can really leverage what is out there right now and build from there. So the program and the Tech Week, I believe did a lot to expose us to global investors and of course global opportunities, global customers that may not really know what is there in Africa. I mean, we get, for lack of a better word, we get ignored in many ways because we are not much is well known about what we are doing currently. So I think that was easily the biggest benefit that the Tech Week had to the cohort. Geviton is, for me, it means it's a testament of our tenacity, and I'm really looking at this from my previous experiences, in other workplaces, that the fact that, having to rely on someone who's not, or rather companies or vendors or providers who are not in Africa to solve African problems is a tall order. It's too much to ask for them, to be honest, and that has introduced that opportunity for us. So I see Geviton as this grand opportunity that Africa has to make a statement, because I look at similar setups within the region, and particularly in Egypt. Egypt has a very advanced electronics manufacturing space. I think the order of 100 times more than what we are doing currently. And that success story, in that they were able to convince a lot of OEMs, these original equipment manufacturers, think of LG, Samsung, and so on, to shift their production focus to Egypt to serve the Middle East and African region. So that is quite telling of the natural path and the evolution that we are taking as a company, and the opportunity that is presented to us. We have the privilege to build talent, create all these opportunities for ourselves, for fellow Africans, and so on. But then again, have that access to a global stage where we can compete. You asked about the certification, NEMA certification, the safety certification, and the thing about these solutions and these products that you're looking at here is that before they get any adoption, any sense of adoption, they do need to be compliant with global standards. So we're not just designing and manufacturing, with the African perspective, but by default, we are competing at the world stage. So that is really the grand opportunity I'm saying for us.